Good day. My name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo. At the rate at which cost of living in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is rising, very soon, Vincentian will not be able to afford even the smallest of commodities at the store. Before we get into this, take a look at this small video clip from SVG TV Evening News.
Coming up on SVG TV's news this evening, local veterinary officer says increase in the price of eggs is inevitable. Local veterinary officer says increase in the price of eggs is inevitable.
So the clip that says that the veterinary officer of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is alerting the community that very soon the high cost of eggs will get even higher. This is as a result of the rising price in fowl feed in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It is alleged that farmers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines will pay at least $28 a sack for fowl feed in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. However, as of the end of May 2022, there was an $18 increase in fowl feed, taking it from $28 a sack to $46 a sack. This is a 64.3% increase. This is highly ridiculous. The reason for the rise in price in the fowl feed is the increase in the international price of wheat. Perspective is this: if you need the commodity to keep your farm going, buy the commodity and raise the price of your product. This is definitely not a solution. What is very troubling is for the past 15 years, St. Vincent and the Grenadines have been involved in what is considered an education revolution. Everyone in St. Vincent and the Grenadines has a college or a university degree. Everyone is bright, everyone is qualified, yet they cannot come up with a solution to help these farmers. Vincentian is going to feel the blunt in the price hike in the cost of fowl feed. Know that the farmers cannot afford to bear the burden of this price hike, so it will be passed on to every consumer. What is concerning is that this is a very simple and easy problem to fix. Unfortunately, all of the bright boys and bright girls who run around in St. Vincent and the Grenadines with their papers, with their diplomas, with their degrees, their associate degrees, bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and PhDs, no one can come up with a viable solution to help the community. Let me ask you all a question. Do you actually believe that the manufacturers of fowl feed is actually using wheat as the main ingredients in the product that they sell you in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? If you believe that, you are as stupid as the worthless degree you carry around with you. These fowl feed that you're purchasing to feed your chicks on your farms is enriched grass. That is all they are. Enriched dry grass, or in other words, enriched hay. These fowl pellets the farmers feed to their chicks are very easy to produce. Herbivorous animal feed is the easiest and cheapest food to produce. But the farmers have to invest in an inexpensive pellet machine. Any grass that a sheep or a goat or a cow will eat, they gather those grass to find the cheapest form of protein you can come up with to add to that grass. You put that grass and the protein mix in the pellet machine, and voila, your problem is solved. For where a poultry farmer would have been paying $4,600 for 100 sack of poultry feed, this procedure will run them about $500 for the same 100 sack of poultry feed, and they will get the same results as if they would have purchased it from the store. I believe that these poultry farmers has people with university degrees helping them to run a better business, and they can't come up with a simple cost-cutting measure like this to help these farmers and to help Vincentian on the whole. Remember, I am Chief Strongblood. I am from Bottomtown. I did not go to a university. I do not have a degree. If I can come up with these simple ideas to help our people to prosper and to grow their business? Why is it that these people who went away, spent thousands of dollars to get a degree, are incapable of helping the people they are employed to help? Remember, St. Vincent and the Grenadines is still involved in an education revolution, which is led by Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves. Ralph Gonsalves prides himself in being the chief and only negotiator for scholarship for young Vincentians to go overseas to study. Today, we have young Vincentians in China, Taiwan, Venezuela, Mexico, Russia, Cuba, a part of the world on scholarship that was negotiated by Ralph Gonsalves. Recently, Ralph Gonsalves sat down with Prince Philip and he negotiated scholarship for Vincentian youth to go away to study. Many of our students in universities are graduating with distinction, are graduating at the top of the class. They are only fed useless information that cannot be applied to anything. They don't gain any knowledge in the field in which they went to study, but all they do is they accumulate a lot of useless information. Talk about education revolution. Ralph Gonsalves go and he negotiate all kind of useless scholarship for our people. Scholarship that cannot help the Vincentian community to grow. Scholarship that will not help our economy to grow. Scholarship that will not help us to become a productive nation. But scholarship that encourage consumerism, where we buy everything we need and consume everything that we buy. No production whatsoever. Every year, Vincentian spends millions of dollars on fabric, on clothing. Yet, out of 100,000+ people, there is no one in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that can take a pound of cotton ball and weave a foot of thread from that cotton ball. They are unable to produce a square foot of fabric from anything. The indigenous people, the Caribs of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, were more productive than we are today with all of our education. The Caribs were able to produce fabric from cotton with their primitive machinery. There is not one Vincentian who is able to produce a thread even from a pound of cotton. Not only that, the Caribs were able to dye their clothing when they produced them because they were able to produce dye from the things they found in nature. Everywhere in St. Vincent you can find a sheep farmer. Yet, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we are not producing not even 1 pound of wool. Do you imagine that a population of 100,000+ people, no one in St. Vincent and the Grenadines can take a pound of wool and produce 1 foot of thread from that wool? Can't even produce a piece of fabric from the wool. Our farming community, no one in this education revolution went to school to study agro processing. People, we are still importing millions of dollars of worth of smoke herring from Holland. Out of 100,000 people, there is no one in St. Vincent and the Grenadines who understands the science smoke preservation. No one is able to create smoke product. Talk about education revolution. Ralph Gonsalves go and he negotiate all kind of useless scholarship for our people. Scholarship that cannot help the Vincentian community to grow. Scholarship that will not help our economy to grow. Scholarship that will not help us to become a productive nation. But scholarship that encourage consumerism, where we buy everything we need and consume everything that we buy. No production whatsoever. My name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo.